Hey there, Regina Anley here, and it is time for the AI Spotlight. Sorry for a few minutes late. We are not streaming live on Facebook right now because I'm having some technical difficulties. So we're going to go ahead here and we will upload this to Facebook as soon as we're done. This week, we are talking about authenticity, and we're talking about how to get AI to actually speak in your voice. Now, if you've used AI for a while, you may have it trained pretty well to do what you need it to do. But maybe you go to a new AI tool and now you need to train that one on your voice. Maybe you've been using ChatGPT forever and ChatGPT knows you really, really, really well. But now maybe you want to go over to Claude or Gemini or somebody else that has the memory, is going to keep your information, but doesn't really know how you speak. So here's how to easily start creating your voice, because here's the thing. People are getting pretty sick of all of this AI generated content, right? So when you think about all of that content that's out here right now, it's kind of sort of like everybody and their brother is using AI, and so it all kind of sort of sounds the same. You can see the same types of phrases, the same grammar, the same sentence structure, the same layout format, and that kind of thing. And so you really want to go in and change it up. Now, those formats may be how you normally write, but you do want to add your authentic voice to it. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how to get AI to actually talk more like you. So here's the first prompt. I'm going to go over here to Claude. Claude, and I'm going to go into incognito mode so he doesn't know anything about me. And I'm going to put this prompt in here, and I will put these prompts underneath once we're done. Let me just grab the prompt. We'll put that right in here. And it basically says, here's 3 examples of how I write. And I'm going to put a period there. So you're going to fill in 2 to 3 real post emails example. Some examples. Here's some examples of how I write. Study my tone, sentence length, word choice. I use short sentences and I avoid corporate language. I never use phrases. Sorry, spelt wrong. Phrases like amplify, dive in, the truth is, or other AI telltale words and phrases. From now on, write in this voice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload some files here, and I have some files ready. I pulled out some of my emails, and I'm going to give it, I pulled out 3 emails and 3 blogs, and whoop. And I just put that someplace else. Ha ha ha. Let's try that again. Add these files. And email examples. I need this one. And this one. All right, we're actually going to move these back over here. And I'm going to say, we want to close that. All right, sorry. More technical difficulties because it's trying to pull files from places that they don't exist. So let me try that one more time. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to give it 3 blogs and 3 email examples right here. So now I've got some examples that I'm giving it. And it's going to take that and it wants to find the voice from there. So here we are. We're going to find the voice. So it's thinking about adopting the voice in your style. And it should come up and tell me what it thinks my style is at this point. So at this point, it's going to it's going to tell me, what it's got. Okay, short, punchy sentences, often one line, sometimes just a fragment, lists that build one thought per line, no bullets needed to feel structured, direct address, bold subheads. Now, this is kind of sort of me. I didn't give it enough examples, but we're going to use this. Turn near the end, something like, turn near the end, something like, here's the thing, even though we won't use phrases like, here's the thing. Warm but no nonsense sign off. So that's a pretty good example, right? And so now I'm going to say, please write a 300 or less word blog, we're going to say post, about why consulting is a good business to get into as a retirement gig. So here we go, and it's going to write a post. And let's see what it comes up. And you can see it saying it's writing it with my voice. So here it is. It put it in those short sentences, right? Now, it's almost a little bit too much. Something to think about, your action step. It's actually pretty good. So now we just want to go in and we want to clean it up for whatever we really want it to sound like in our true voice. So we're going to say something for this one here because it looks pretty good, but we're going to restructure it a little bit. So we're going to say, please format this more to sound like I am talking to a friend over coffee. So like you're having a coffee chat with a friend. So when you put stuff like that in, so put whatever it is that you talk like when you're talking normal, your real authentic voice. You're sitting down with the family for dinner. How do you normally talk? You are sitting with a colleague. You're sitting with a friend. Now, see how it changed it up here? It actually took the headings out because I don't talk to people in headings. So I said, please talk the way I'd be talking to a friend over coffee. Can I tell you something? You spent 30 years learning something most people never will, and then retirement shows up and all that knowledge just sits there. And no one really talks about that part. So as you can see, I just reworded that line right there. I said, and no one really talks about that part. It says nobody talks about this part. That's something that I would go in and edit because that's the last piece here. So you go in and you get this initial prompt in and you get the initial setup done so that it picks your voice, and it's got, we're going to say it's like 90% there, but it's never, ever, ever going to be 100%. In order for you to use your true authentic voice, you have to actually use your true authentic voice, not AI's. So as you can see, as I started reading it out loud, which is the key here, right? So that last tip is go read it out loud. If it doesn't sound authentically like you, that's where you change it up. And as you can tell, I didn't even do that on purpose. I just said, can I tell you something? You spent 30 years and nobody really talks about that part. I literally went in and changed that line just as I was rereading it. So now I would go and write it that way. And I wouldn't say, here's the thing though. I'd say, but you already did the hard part. So I would change that, but comma, you already did the hard part. I would reword this to be more like me, but 90% of the work here is done and sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty much like me. Sounds pretty much, and we're in incognito. So this is the Claude that doesn't know me, doesn't know my voice right now. So it's pulling out of just what I gave it in that first prompt. So if you really want to show up authentically in your content, this is what you can do. Put in, here's 3 examples of how I write. Study my tone, my sentence length, my word choice. Put in examples that are true to how you really speak, not examples of things that you created using AI. You have to have something that you've written from scratch. So think about an email you wrote from scratch, a blog you wrote from scratch, something you wrote before you knew about AI. That's in your own authentic voice. That's what you're going to put in here for examples and tell it, hey, pull out that essence of my voice from these examples. And it will tell you, here's what I've studied from all of these things that you gave me. Here's how you speak. Here's your voice. Now, if this is not 100% correct when you get this first set, that's where you start refining. So I can't tell you here in this example how to refine it. That's up to you. It's your unique, authentic voice. But if you go, well, you know what? I really don't use short, punchy sentences, and I never use a fragment. If this isn't true, then you come down here and you say, I never talk in short, punchy sentences, and I never, ever use fragments. I generally speak in full sentences and explain whatever it is that I'm talking about. However you need to word it to get it into your voice. That's what you want to put in there. And then you go down, you have it write something. Don't go have it write what you need to have written. Use an example. I just threw in, throwing out a 300 or less word post about why consulting is a good business to get into as a retirement gig. Now, it was just something that is familiar to me. So I can go out and go, okay, yeah, this sounds like me or this doesn't sound like me. And when it got done, with the very short stuff that it has, and it doesn't have everything about my voice because I really didn't clean this up. Remember I said it's pretty right, but not quite so much. And I said, okay, well, let's get that first one. Well, did the bold subheads. Why? Because that was what was in the blogs. The blog examples actually had those little bold headlines. So that's why the first version came out as that. And I said, please format this to sound more like I'm talking to a friend over coffee, because I want it to be like a conversational post. And then last but not least, I went in and said, okay, I'm going to read it out loud and see, does this sound like me? And as I started reading it out loud, I automatically started saying it the way I would say it in my authentic voice. So there were some edits to make. Those are the steps to get AI to speak in your voice. It will never be 100% your voice. I know people are telling people that you can get AI to do everything for you. I am of the take that that's great if you have it work on it as your VA, but always, always, always read it through before you actually publish it. Why? Because if not, AI is taking on a life of its own, and it's going to put stuff out there that no longer sounds like you. And before you know it, you're going to be reading your own stuff going, who wrote that? And it was yours. So you want to show up authentically as you always. In order to stand out uniquely, you need to stand out by using your unique, authentic voice. And this is how you get AI to help you out with that. So I'll put that first main prompt in underneath the video here and give it a try. If you are using a new AI tool, if your AI tool doesn't quite get you yet, try it out. Just remember, the examples that you put into that first prompt, they need to be actual examples of something that you created from scratch, not something that you used AI to help you with. Unless you used AI to help you and then you completely rewrote it in your own voice. Make sure it is your authentic voice that you're using for the examples in that prompt. Otherwise, it's not going to be the right voice. So try it out and then let me know how you make out with it, because this makes all the difference when you're using AI, and it makes using AI faster for you as well. That's what I've got for you this week on the AI Spotlight. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.